if I can help one person say, do you know what? She can do this and she can change it, so can I.
Samantha is someone I've had the pleasure of knowing for a little while. I'm very much trying to tell her story. So touching on your early trans feelings specifically, you described briefly feelings of being trapped in the wrong body.
Yeah.
Do you remember exactly when you started to have those feelings, perhaps the age?
3, there was something wrong. This was someone else's body. This certainly wasn't mine. Just looking at the body as a male body, it was just like, it just felt like a visitor. It just felt, this just wasn't right. This just was alien. This was someone else's body. This certainly wasn't mine. I could only see her, and the feelings were just her. So actually looking into a mirror, I just didn't want to do. It's strange to feel at the age of 5, 6 that for your life has begun. It's already over. Because it wasn't talked about.
In the early years, what were the relationships like with your immediate family? So mum, dad, and I believe a younger sister.
Fragmented, to say the very least. Knowing the age of 3, your body is alien to you and you just don't like it. Certainly strange. You kind of grow up, or I did, not telling anyone, so your relationships aren't real.
Yeah.
You feel as though you're lying to people, you don't mean to, and kind of you fall into the stereotypes that society expects you to kind of be.
And you felt that even at such an early age?
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
Didn't understand the implications to it, but something just was wrong. My mum and dad didn't really get on. I mean, mum got married to me, dad, because it was expected, because at the time her sister got married, and so she got married. I mean, dad was away at sea, so we never really built any relationship.
Yeah.
And again, because they split, a lot of the stories I heard was obviously from mum's point of view.
Yeah.
My sister she had everything that I knew I should have been.
Yeah. That must have been very hard to come to terms with.
Yeah, I kind of resented her for it. I just was very closed up.
Yeah.
Frightened that if I told how I felt, how would people react? I became very good at hiding.
Yeah.
Very good at playing the part of whatever was expected.
How would you describe, or try to describe, the actual feeling of being you before you became your true self?
I hated myself. I didn't like me. I didn't like anything about my life. It wasn't my life. When I got up, shut down, smile, hello world, everything's fine. But it was like a Jack and Hyde. Inside I was thinking, just saying, yeah, I'm fine. I was thinking, no, you're not.
Did you feel like you had anyone at all, apart from yourself, to talk to during these sort of early years?
No.
Absolutely nobody?
No. I don't think I trusted myself enough to allow people in. And the one person I did, her reaction wasn't good, so that's it.
And that one person?
Was my mum. Well, I never realised I self-harmed. But my self-harm was drink alcohol, go out with friends, get drunk, someone would cause a fight, someone kick my head and I'll be dead. These inner thoughts would cut for eyes. So after 2 drinks, now I wanted to forget. Now I wanted to have a fight because if someone killed me, problem solved. Mum saying, what's up with you? And I stormed out. Needed time to myself. That was when I kind of told Mum.
Directly after your 18th?
Yeah, I mean, Mum reaction wasn't good. In the next 2 weeks, tell work, tell everyone, change everything over and start to find a look. Literally, this was about in 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
I would tell anyone who's doing this, do not do it like that. Got made redundant. We then had an interview. So anyway, so they were on the motorway, and I don't know what, Mum sensed something was wrong. What's up, dear? Nothing. Something's up. No, there isn't. Everything's fine. Just right. Mum said, right, why can't you everything back? I can't.
You turn everything back as in...
Yeah, boy.
Become male.
But I can't. 3 months hormones down the line, Mum, she's out. The hormones haven't quite worked, but in here, the transition has started.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I cannot switch her back. And I burst into tears. She said, right, we're going home. And we went home. And we talked for 10 hours. It's the best thing we did.
And are you able to, or happy to share the sorts of things you spoke about in this 10-hour?
Yeah, I mean, early years, what I was feeling.
Yeah.
The confusion, why me? Feelings about my sister, not being able to open up. And as I said, also the fact that, Mother, you told me the practical things, you just needed to tell me you loved me. The rest of it, I'm sure we could have dealt with. Just those 3 words would have made that difference. She had to allow him to die first. She had to mentally bury her son.
Yeah.
Once that process happened, and again, there's no time scale on this because you can't give people to. I'd known this from 3. Even though I told her at 18, it was a realisation that I was doing this, and she turned around and said, "Right, I've got 2 choices. I could lose you completely, or we go through this together."
Sam struggled very, very, very much when her mum passed away.
Quite quickly after they had become very closer than ever.
It was the only support Sam had besides her friend Russell, which really came along after her mum had died.
Yeah.
On this journey, I was becoming very negative. Very, very, very negative. I didn't do this to become the wreck, what you've become. Picked up some tablets, put them down my throat, went to bed. I woke up 3 hours later, I should be dead. I'm not. And you know what? If Mum saw you right now, she would say, why the hell aren't you bloody well fighting? Believe or not, this was a turning point.
In what sense? How would you describe it as a turning point?
I had nothing to lose. Nothing to lose whatsoever. Everything that possibly could have gone wrong had to, even the reason why I was doing this, to have my life, to be me, to be happy with me and my body, and to have a life that was truly mine. Not other people's, not science expectation, mine. What I knew from the age of 3. I'd taken that away. But somehow, things were going to be different. I didn't know how, I didn't know the whys.
You felt it?
Just something was different.
And what impact do you think Sam's sessions had on her, her sessions with you?
I think for the first time Sam could actually sit there and tell her story and somebody listened. When she's talking to me, we go deeper into what her feelings were at each individual point. So that we've had laughter, we've had tears. I think Sam's very proud of herself.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think she thinks she's done okay. And most of the time she's in an okay place. She gets a bit frustrated, just like normal people do. She gets frustrated with her job, she gets frustrated with her relationships. But on the whole, Sam is okay.
Yeah, and you think she does a good job of reflecting back?
Moved in together in George Street. Part of it was that I'd never had a proper female relationship, so kind of this was almost see if I could, and the self-supporting things that happened in the past didn't seem to happen here. It seemed okay. We were a happy couple, which we were, not saying we weren't.
So there were lots of positive elements about it.
Yeah. And it was just a case of there was just this nagging down that was still there.
And how old were you at this point?
28,
And
and she was 21.
And you'd been with her for how long?
About 6 months. Got home that night. It was a case of, I told her. She slept on the sofa. I went to work next day. She rang her mum. Her mum came and picked her up.
Yeah. And you didn't have any contact?
No.
For around 16
Yeah.
years. How did it feel when you discovered that you had a son? What was that like?
Just mixed feelings. A society that doesn't accept, would they take him away? Would they, is she going to leave me anyway? Or all these type of thoughts and emotions and everything in.
So you felt a need to get to know your son, so you sent a letter. And what resulted from that?
What result of that was I got a call from, apparently it was first her mum, and obviously I answered Samantha anyway. So she put the phone down because she heard Samantha.
Yeah.
Didn't recognise it was me, but she thought she got the wrong number.
Yeah.
A couple of days later, rang, and I was like, I recognised the voice instantly. She recognised mine. We had a couple of conversations, and I was like, you know what I said all those years ago? Right, that has happened. I am now female. Bit shocked. She came off the phone. A couple of days later, she rung. We agreed to meet up in Chichester. That blew it completely. Everything of 6 years of hard work had gone.
And why do you think that went?
Guilt. Looked into her eyes. You name it. Came flooding back.
Yeah.
And suddenly, before I realised, I was in trouble.
And did you feel that you were in love with her?
Yeah.
Quite early on after meeting her?
Yeah. We started having physical relationship as well.
Basically, we learned love conquers all, because it did.
Yeah.
There were periods of time when Sam did think about reversing her operation. We talked about that.
And that was after she got back with Debbie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that
This was Debbie's wish.
Debbie's request?
Yeah. This was Debbie's wish.
And something even Sam considered?
Sam is a woman. She wants to be a woman. She is a woman. No, she wanted Debbie. Debbie wanted Sam. Debbie was struggling with the labelling of being a lesbian. I think that was the major thing about it, was the labelling.
Yeah.
And of course, Debbie's parents disagreed with the whole relationship, which Samantha felt that she could deal with, possibly control. She said that she'd always loved Debbie, from before when she was a man, right through to now that she's a woman. She describes it as if love had died and then was rekindled. When she wrote the letter to get in touch with her son, one wonders whether or not it was to get in touch with Debbie.
Yeah, even if that was an unconscious
Decision.
motive or decision that was made. And the whole idea of love conquering all, of course, reflects on Sam actually being in quite an okay point in her life with herself after many years of suffering, and that being certainly disturbed by the turbulence of her, the reignited relationship with Debbie.
Her relationship with her son didn't go as well as Sam would have liked to. Mainly, he dug his heels in, especially when Sam started a relationship with his mum. He didn't like that. He didn't come to grips very well with Sam's transitioning. Sam herself was very wrapped up with Debbie. And I think she thought that it would be an easier journey for her to get to know her son. I don't think she thought long and hard about his reaction.
It must have been extremely complicated. But what was it actually like transitioning? So the treatment, the hormones and the surgery, the kind of practicalities of...
first it was just a relief. No more hiding, no more lying, just being open and just suddenly being able to say, hello, I'm this and I'm Samantha and that's it. You know everything's going to be different. Your body is going to be completely and utterly female. There's nothing male on you in any way, shape or form. So you're excited because obviously you've dreamed, oh God, you dreamed of this for so long. The first 2 years was a lot about starting backwards, saying here I am and getting everything right and getting the look and everything else right afterwards. And very much the first 3 years certainly was learning about my emotions, how I felt, how they changed.
Did and do you feel part of the trans community, and what are your feelings about the trans community or the LGBT?
Yeah, I'll bring Chrysalis into this point because again, until I went to Inscape, which was a group set up for trans people socially, there was absolutely nothing. It was just a social group. Chrysalis started in Southampton to basically help people through the entire process from start to finish. And I was already beginning to help, give advice.
Yeah.
Kind of realising I was actually doing it.
Yeah, so not actually just turning up, but, you know, actively
And
participating.
so, because they wanted a then group in Portsmouth, I mean, they already was running one, but it wasn't quite working, so they said, do you want to facilitate it? Which was a huge honour, but again, running a group, I'd never run a group, but do you know what? There's nothing else in my journey that I hadn't, and by now, what used to be problems were now just challenges, and this was just another challenge.
She goes to Chrysalis, she holds meetings, she helps other people, she wants to put something back into them helping her. She wants to put something back herself.
If I wanted to be part of society, mixed with society, I had to be part of it, and I had to find a way, and I didn't want to label myself, like a lot of trans people do, as I'm trans.
Yeah.
If people ask questions, that's fine, but treat me with respect, because I will not be treated with disrespect.
And this merges quite nicely into the next question, which is, do you have any messages for the trans community or people feeling trapped in the wrong body?
Just always be yourself. People aren't as frightening as they seem. They'll get it wrong. If someone's got a close mind, do you know what? You're a fantastic person. Let people see what I already know, because you are. All I can do is leave a door open. If they choose to walk through it, they can. I can't make them. Just like I can't control what people think.
Yeah.
I can control how I respond. I've met some lovely people who are along the journey. I've helped some wonderful people. And even their journeys, I learn that I can take to other people. Or I can learn and take them to my life.
It's hugely empowering.
And if I could bottle everyone's going through and throw it away and say, now just go.
Do you have a message for anyone, trans or otherwise, who might be thinking about counselling but unsure whether they should actually do it?
Definitely do it.
Yeah.
Definitely do it. Seek out a support group. There will be counselling with them. There are different support groups. Not as many as there should be, but there are. Seek them out. You can find them on the internet and go to one.
I think the only biggest regret I would have, I wish I'd opened up and let people in. They might have still said bugger off, because they might have done.
Yeah, of course.
But at least they would have had that choice. I never gave them that choice.
Oh, well, thanks so much, Sam. It's a real honour to meet like this, have this filmed interview of your intimate details of your life story, and it's something I truly believe will make a real difference to a lot of people. It already has to me, and yeah, I wish you all the very best with everything you do. You deserve it.
Thank you.